Next, for question 3, we want to know the height. We want to know the population mean height of students in the class. We're going to use height as our variable. So what's the point estimate? Well, it's x bar, the sample mean. Very similarly, we're going to go statistical analysis. Now, this is a quantitative variable. All quantitative variables are treated as continuous because we use continuous distributions like the normal or the t. So I'm going to get a confidence interval for a mean. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Single sample t-test. It's tempting to go confidence interval for a mean. When you try it, you'll see the problem with it. Go to single sample t-test. Click on it because we're doing a t-distribution based confidence interval. My variable is going to be height. I choose height. The alternative and null hypothesis don't matter for our purposes right now. 95% confidence interval is what I care about, 0.95. So I click OK. And here's my 95% confidence interval, and here's my sample mean. And that's what I want. The point estimate is x bar. So I copy that, paste it, and it says round to 3 places. So 661. Boom. Next question. Does this call for a z or a t? Well, I don't know what sigma is, so it's going to require a t because I don't know sigma. I don't want to answer that right now, but that's the reason. Click submit. Yes. All right. Then I come here, and if this is to be computed with a critical t, how many degrees of freedom do we use? Well, it's n minus 1. So I need to figure out what n is. So I can look at the view data set, and I can see that there are, what's the variable height? There are 49 observations, it looks like. If there's any missing, then those won't count. But so the degrees of freedom would be 48, unless there's some missing observations. So there it is, 48. You can also check your R output. It gives it to you. It's 48 degrees of freedom. Submit. Now next it's going to ask for the critical T. Find the critical T for a 95% CI. Here you will need software. So I'm going to open up Excel again, or in my case it's actually LibreOffice, equals tinv, and I have to give it the alpha, which is 0.05, and degrees of freedom, which was 48. Close it off, hit enter, and notice that it's a little bit larger than 1.96. It's 2.01. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy that. Go back over to my assignment, paste that. There it is, except it says round to 3 places, so that's 3 places. Okay. Next, I want to get the 95% CI. I want the lower limit and the upper limit. So go back to my R output. Here's R. Here's the lower limit. It says 95% confidence interval, so I'm going to copy, paste, and I'll round it after I've pasted it. Copy the upper limit, paste, and I'll round them both. That goes to 9, that goes to 4. Click submit, declare victory. Next, last 2 questions. What's it tell me about the population? It tells me that I'm 95% confident that the population mean is somewhere between 62.859 and 68.464. You know, it might be actually more reasonable to round it to 1 place or 2 places. I'm pretty sure, basically it means I'm pretty sure that the population mean is somewhere between 63 and 68. Okay. So that's what that means. Say something like that, and I will read that, and there you go. Is it reasonable to conclude the population mean is 61? Well, the interval goes from 63 to 68. 61 is outside the interval, so no, that is not reasonable. I would find that unlikely. Okay. Last question. What's the sample standard deviation? So to do that, I go statistical analysis, continuous variables, numerical summaries. You might remember this from Real Data Homework 3. Our variable is height, and so I click OK. And it gives me the sample standard deviation. Here it is. Round to 3 places. That's point. There it is. Now I want the 95% CI to be plus or minus 1 inch. I'm going to copy this because I know I need it. I go statistical analysis, calculate sample size. Calculate sample size from standard deviation and confidence interval. It's the first option in the 3rd box. The expected standard deviation is, oh, I guess it won't take it. Was it 9.757? 9.757. Confidence interval width, I want plus or minus 1 inch. 1 inch above, 1 inch below. That gives me 2 inches of width. So 2. I click OK. Gives me that awesome graph, which I don't really want right now. So I need 366 observations if I'm going to reach that goal. 366. Submit, and that is it. What's the problem? Yeah, submit. Do it. Oh, it's thinking about it. Okay. That's how we do it, friends and neighbors. Next, I'll show you how to do a hypothesis test, and I look forward to reading your essay responses, your short answer responses. All right.